Ladies and gentlemen, the death of the former Prime Minister and ODM party leader Raila Odinga struck at the heart of the Kenyan politics at this crucial time where we are remaining with only 1 year and 6 months to the 2027 general elections. Raila, having led the most prominent political party in the Kenyan opposition politics for the last 20 years, the ODM party, left without putting his house in order, which has given birth to a bloodbath within the ODM party leadership as we speak. As the struggle for the throne of the Luo Nyanza political kingpin starts, Raila Odinga joined hands with President William Ruto's government in the year 2024 after the Gen Z demonstrations became a threat to the existence of the Republic of Kenya. Before that, Raila Odinga had led anti-government demonstrations against William Ruto's government in 2023, which led to a lot of things happening in the Republic of Kenya and destruction of property and loss of life. To what led to the 2023 demonstrations calming down is the intervention of the former African Union chairman and former Nigerian president Olusegun Obasanjo, after where Olusegun Obasanjo arrived in Kenya to mediate between Raila Odinga and William Ruto. After the mediation, Raila called off the countrywide demonstrations that had led to the death of 73 people in the said demonstrations. Back to the year 2024, after Raila offered a helping hand to William Ruto to curb a looming coup, as Raila had alleged, in March 2025, Raila officially signed an MOU under the broad-based government to work with William Ruto until the year 2027, a move that was not welcomed by some of key players within the ODM party. These key players include the Siaya Governor James Orengo, the Nairobi Senator and ODM Party Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, and last on the list is the Embakasi East Member of Parliament BABU Owino. These people went ahead to declare the MOU signed between Raila Odinga and William Ruto null and void few days after the signing. BABU Owino, being the people's darling and the most popular member of parliament in Kenya, who has been trying so hard to fight for his space in the national politics of the Republic of Kenya, has in the past been trying to front his bid for the Nairobi governorship in the year 2020, in the 2027 general election. And in his struggle, Babu Owino has faced as a lot of setbacks, including when Raila Amolo Odinga himself declared his support and the ODM support to the current Nairobi governor, Johnson Sakaja. Babu, being a son of the Luo nation, narratives of him inheriting Raila as the Luo kingpin had started making headlines before even Raila's death, something that did not settle well with the ODM party leadership. Now recently, after Raila's death, the people of the Luo Nyanza have declared on different occasions that Babu Owino is their official spokesperson. But it seems that the ODM leadership is in opposition of that. Remember, less than 24 hours after Raila's death, ODM party declared Raila's elder brother, Oburu Odinga, as the party chairman. Rumors have it, the reason why they acted swiftly and ODM acted swiftly to appoint Oburu Odinga as the ODM party acting chairman is because delegates within the ODM party alleged that they had received intel that Babu Owino was preparing to stage a coup and take over the ODM party. And so, the people and the leadership within the party and to act fast. And that is where they declared Oburu Odinga as the acting party chairman. Apart from Babu Owino, on the list of those that are on the chopping board in the ODM party comes the Secretary General of the said party and the Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna. Edwin Sifuna, since the signing of the MOU, even before the signing of the MOU between Raila Odinga and William Ruto, he was opposed to it fully. Because Edwin Sifuna in the past had declared that there is no way in this world he is going to support William Ruto after what he did to the youths of the Republic of Kenya who were demonstrating in the streets of Nairobi in the year 2024. And Edwin Sifuna's dissenting voice within the ODM as its party secretary general and the party's spokesperson has been a voice that has faced a lot of criticism and a lot of scrutiny from ODM party members and loyalists to the ODM party. Most of them, in the past, even when Raila Amolo Odinga was alive, including cabinet secretaries that are currently serving within William Ruto's government, but they are serving because of the privileges of them being associated with the ODM party, had actually declared that Edwin Sifuna should be fired and kicked out of ODM party. Now remember, Babu Owino and Sifuna, together, they are currently in a coalition of young parliamentarians and senators that are fronting their bid to topple the government of William Ruto in an alliance called the Kenya Moja Alliance. So Babu Owino and Edwin Sifuna, currently, Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, in the past, he had been told and had been persuaded so much, even by the government of William Ruto and officials within Ruto's government, to kick out Edwin Sifuna from ODM party and to kick out Babu Owino from ODM party. But Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, being the father to these young men, he had nurtured them, he had grown them politically, did not act because as a father, he knows that children sometimes have to do this and that. And for Raila Amolo Odinga, he respected Babu Owino and Edwin Sifuna. Do you know the reason why? Because he, Raila Amolo Odinga, once upon a time in the year 1992, he had ambitions of how the Ford Kenya would have actually won the presidency if Jaramogi Oginga Odinga had appointed a young leader to vie for the presidency against Daniel Moi, and Jaramogi supporting that young man. But Oginga Odinga wanted to vie for the presidency. And that is where Raila Odinga and Jaramogi Oginga Odinga fell out. So Raila Amolo Odinga has learned from the past, because if he was not a strong-headed person, then he would have given up in the politics of the Republic of Kenya. Because remember, after Jaramogi Oginga Odinga lost the elections of the year 1992 and died in the year 1994, 3 years later, for the first time, Raila Amolo Odinga vied for the presidency in the year 1997. Though he lost, but there is where Raila Amolo Odinga now began his journey to the national politics of the Republic of Kenya. In the past, he had been an activist. Raila Odinga also knows that Raila Odinga knew that Edwin Sifuna and Babu Owino were on the right trajectory. And that is why, even after a lot of persuasion from the ODM party leadership to kick these young men out of the party, Raila Amolo Odinga did not honor that call. And he went ahead to have and protect Sifuna every time they tried to attack him. Are we together? To remind you why Sifuna now has no protection within the ODM party and why Sifuna is currently going to be axed out, as also Babu Owino is going to be axed out. They are affiliated with the Kenya Moja Alliance. Apart from that, Sifuna in the past has declared that if he is given a choice to choose from the current opposition leaders on who should become the president of Kenya, he declared his support for Fred Matiang'i. On the other hand, Babu Owino had recently declared that Kalonzo should be the president of the Republic of Kenya because Kalonzo, in the past, has supported Raila Amolo Odinga for so many years without questioning Raila Amolo Odinga. So Babu declared his support and placed his support on Kalonzo Musyoka. So these two do not align with the party leadership of ODM because the party leadership of ODM are currently benefiting from William Ruto's government. They are given a lot of money to support this government, including Oburu Odinga, who his son was this year appointed as an advisor to the president, Jaoko Oburu. So no way Oburu Odinga, currently having been appointed as the chairman of ODM, is going to violate the agreement signed between him and between Raila Odinga and William Ruto. And that is why I'm telling you, he is not going to protect or pretend that these people should continue being in the party for the sake of what Raila Amolo Odinga saw in them. No, Oburu Odinga is going to kick them out. Why am I saying this? About a month ago, news came to us that the ODM party had postponed its then planned National Delegates Convention. The reason why Raila Amolo Odinga postponed the ODM NDC was because he received intel that at the center stage of the said NDC was a call that had been filed and a motion that had been fronted by Oburu Odinga to have Edwin Sifuna kicked out of ODM as its party secretary general, and also to lose his membership as a member of ODM party. That is what Oburu Odinga wanted. But Raila Amolo Odinga, realizing this and knowing the potential his sons had, he called off the said NDC. He said the NDC would take place when things settles down. The NDC was supposed to take place this month or next month. But now Raila is gone. The man in charge is none other than Oburu Odinga. And Oburu Odinga values the money and the benefit that comes from him working with William Ruto. So count Edwin Sifuna out of the party and count Babu Owino out of the party. The other person in this case, and who I have just received some certain intel that actually might change the Luo Nyanza politics for good going forward, is about the current governor of Siaya County, James Orengo. James Orengo had opposed Raila Amolo Odinga working with William Ruto completely. And that is why, if you remember, during the signing of the broad-based government MOU between Raila Odinga and William Ruto, James Orengo was missing in action that day. And after missing in action, a few days later, James Orengo appeared in a certain public event and addressed that he will never support William Ruto. He went ahead on his allegation and being strong-headed of not being compromised by Ruto. For so many days and months, James Orengo was the dissenting voice also supporting Edwin Sifuna and Babu Owino. But due to the persuasion of William Ruto and Raila Odinga, James Orengo fell to the trap and he actually conceded to a meeting that William Ruto had called him and Siaya leadership at the State House. But one thing you should know, James Orengo, in his heart he knew that working with William Ruto was a mistake. And now that Raila Amolo Odinga is gone, James Orengo has a chance to take a stand. And not only that, allow me to remind you, before Raila Amolo Odinga took over the leadership and the kingpinship of the Luo Nyanza region politics, James Orengo had been there. James Orengo had been the favorite son of the Luo Nyanza region. And more so, even Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, before his death, he did not recognize his son as the heir to the throne of the Luo Nyanza kingpinship. He had recognized James Orengo. And that is why James Orengo, after Jaramogi Odinga's death, he and Raila Amolo Odinga did not see eye to eye when Raila vied for the presidency in the year 1997, and they failed. In the year 2002, James Orengo went ahead also to front his bid for the presidency. Raila Amolo Odinga failed to support James Orengo. He declared Kibaki Tosha, and James Orengo lost that election. But after the both of them now had seen how their division and their fights had costed the people of the Luo Nyanza on matters development and leadership, they came together in the year 2007. That is after Raila Odinga had now taken up the mantle. He had fronted himself as the kingpin, and James Orengo had to cede to Raila Amolo Odinga and declare his support and loyalty to the ODM party. And that is where they started working together. James Orengo held his ambitions in support of Raila Amolo Odinga for so many years. Now, an opening is here. James Orengo can make a statement before he exits active politics of the Republic of Kenya. And that is why I'm hearing James Orengo had started preparing, registering a new party when Raila joined William Ruto. But when they convinced him otherwise, he put on hold his plans. But now that Raila is gone, there is a chance of him launching a new party and a new outfit for the Nyanza region politics. And if he does so, you might find James Orengo joining the United Opposition. And if James Orengo joins the United Opposition, I tell you 100%, be sure that he will be given a role as the running mate of whoever will be chosen as the presidential candidate. And if James Orengo is given that, then the people of Luo Nyanza will completely vote for the United Opposition to ask how to remove Ruto from the office in the year 2027. Ladies and gentlemen, I always tell you that is how politics are played. Yes, tell me what you think. Though we all know right now, on matters the kingship of the Luo Nyanza, only one name is at the top, and that is the name of Babu Owino. Will Babu Owino be given that opportunity? But on what merits will Babu Owino be given that opportunity? Yet he does not have a party. He does not have members of parliament backing him. He does not have leaders within the Luo Nyanza region supporting him. But if Babu Owino and James Orengo joins hands together, then the people of the Luo Nyanza will follow them and they will support them. And Babu Owino will be the kingpin, or James Orengo will be the kingpin, and his underdog will be Babu Owino. Mtazamaji, siasa zinaenda kuchukua mkondo mpya vibaya sana. They are going to take a new turn. Because with Raila Amolo Odinga out of the picture, the ODM imesambaratika kabisa. Because Oburu Odinga is going to kick out Edwin Sifuna. And once Edwin Sifuna is kicked out, he will walk out with a lot of people. And if that happens, Edwin Sifuna will join another party, or they will start a new party. Him, Babu Owino, and the rest. And now, the trajectory of the 2027 politics will change completely. Mtazamaji, I would love to know what is your take in regards to this analysis. Leave a comment on the comment section. See you in our next video. This is the Kenyan Daily Report. Subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Msibanduke, tuko hapa kuweza kukupasha na kukujulisha juu ya yale yote yanayojiri katika kila kona ya nchi, haswa katika uwanja ama nyanja za siasa hapa nchini. Lakini tukikamilisha, tunasema pumzika vema baba Raila Amolo Odinga, tulikupenda ila Mwenyezi Mungu alikupenda zaidi. Down the Bay of Mexico, I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. Hey, son to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down and my head is spinning around. I had to live a little girl in Kingston Town. Subscribe, ladies and gentlemen.